This is Chris Videos. Like, subscribe to Team W Wrestling on YouTube, subscribe to my other channel, Word of Chris, and subscribe to this channel, Chris Videos, and follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and I'll be down there in the description box. And I'm here to do my AEW Rampage May 6, 2022 review. So here we go, discussing about Rampage. And now, Rampage actually aired earlier today at 5:30. So, like I usually do, I want to review Rampage after SmackDown. So yeah, this is why the reviews is popping up a little bit later tonight. But yep, we kick off the show with the first match of the night. It was a tag team match. It was Dr. Britt Baker teaming up with Jamie Hayter, Rebels at ringside, versus Toni Storm and Ruby Soho. It was a pretty good tag team match. At the ending of this match, we seen Rebel go on ring apron, distracting the referee, and that left Jamie Hayter and Britt Baker to double team on Toni Storm, beating her down in the ring. And then Britt Baker then hits the curb stomp onto Toni Storm. She goes for the pin, but Ruby Soho comes into the ring, pushing Jamie Hayter on top of them, breaking up the pin at the count of 2. And then Ruby grabs Jamie Hayter, throws her out the ring, and then she turns around and gets hit with a super kick by Britt Baker, getting knocked out of the ring as well. It only left Toni Storm and Britt Baker. Britt Baker then got rolled up by Toni Storm, and Toni Storm got the 3 count. So yeah, Toni Storm and Ruby Soho defeated Britt Baker and Jamie Hayter tonight in the tag team match. It was an okay tag team match to kick off the show. I'll give that match 1.5 stars. That's what I'll give it. But then after the match ended, we seen Chris Jericho and them at the announce table, and then Eddie Kingston called. So yeah, he called Chris Jericho. Never seen this before, so yeah, it was pretty interesting. He called Chris Jericho, and he said, how his wife never seen him so beat up before. But he said this ain't about professional wrestling no more. He's actually going to come after him. So yeah, that's what he said. So yeah, he said he's going to go after Chris Jericho. That's what Kingston said. And then backstage, we see Toni Storm and Mark Sterling. And Toni Storm challenges Danhausen for next week's Rampage, I think. So yeah, that'll be next week. So yeah, up next, we're going to be seeing Hook versus JD Drake. Up next on on Rampage. So yeah, see you guys later. Until then. So the next thing that happened on Rampage, it was a one-on-one match. It was Hook versus JD Drake in a one-on-one match, and there was one cool moment actually during this match where JD Drake was laying in some chops on the Hook, and then Hook was like, okay, laying another chop, and then while he was coming up with the chop, Hook headbutts his hand. Yeah, he headbutted JD Drake's hand during a chop, which was pretty funny. And then after that, he suplexes him a few times. JD Drake was trying to hit like a reversal DDT, I think it was, but Hook got behind him and locked on the sleeper hold, and then made him tap out. So yeah, Hook defeated JD Drake tonight in the one-on-one match. That's what happened. I'll give that match 1 star. That's what I'll give it. But yeah, that's what happened there. But then Danhausen comes out to the ring and he says, would you be at Danhausen's corner for his match against Tony Nese? And Hook, Danhausen puts his hand on Hook, and then Hook pushes him down, and then Danhausen gets out the ring, but he leaves a present for him. It was a bag of chips, and he got out of the ring, and then Hook grabs the bag of chips and throws it back down. So yeah, that's what happened there. But that was pretty good stuff right there. But up next, we'll be seeing Riho in action up next on Rampage. So yeah, I'll see you guys later. Until the next thing that happens on AEW Rampage. So the next thing that happened on AEW Rampage, it was a one-on-one match. But before I talk about that qualifying match, we got to talk about FTR. Now, they was backstage, you get an interview and stuff. And Cash Wheeler was like, yeah, Dex defeated me this past Wednesday on Dynamite, or 2 weeks ago, I meant, last week. But he said that Dax will go and defeat Adam Cole this Wednesday on Dynamite and keep on running through the tournament until he becomes the winner of the Owen Hart Foundation tournament. So yeah, that's what he said. But then we get to the match. It was Riho versus Yuka Sakazuki in a qualifying match. This match is to qualify into the Owen Hart Foundation tournament. And it was a pretty good match. Like, the fans was chanting and all that. It was a pretty good match between these two women. At one point, both of these women was brawling inside the ring, going at it, punching each other in the face. But then Riho rolled her up for an inside cradle, pinning her for the 3 count. So yeah, Riho defeated Yuka Sakazuki tonight in a one-on-one match. That's what happened. And Riho qualifies for the Owen Hart Foundation tournament. Pretty good match between those two women. I'll give that match 2 stars. That's what I'll give it. Pretty good match though. But yep, that's what happened there. And then backstage we get Shawn Spears, and Shawn Spears is talking about how he's going to go after Wardlow now. So yeah, that's what Shawn Spears said. But then we get to the next segment. Dan Lambert, Ethan Page, and the TNT champion Scorpio Sky come out to the ring. And they was talking, Dan Lambert, of course, talking crap about Baltimore and all that, how he was talking about how he was born there and all that. But he says there's so much shit that he's on claim that he's born in Miami from now on. And then Ethan Page grabs the mic and he was talking about Sammy Guevara and Ty Conti, talking junk about Sammy. He said, well, the mixed tag team match is now off. So yeah, it looks like the mixed tag team match will now be off. Whatever, that's what Ethan Page said. But then Frankie Kazarian comes out and he said, well, Ethan, I mean, you do the same things as Sammy Guevara does, the stupid vlogs and all that. Now all you need is a dumb blonde. And you're pretty much Sammy Guevara, so yeah, that's what he said. And then he gets into the ring and he told Scorpio Sky how he respected him and all that. And if, when they're going to get that TNT Championship match against each other. And then Ethan Page comes up quickly and goes like, Frankie, I'm glad that you're dressed up for a funeral because SCU's dead. And Scorpio Sky gets in the middle. He goes like, before this goes off the railings, Dan, I told you to put that TNT Championship at American Top Team shelf. So yeah, that's what he said. But he said things are going to be different. He's going to become a fighting champion, and the title will stop being passed around like all the time. So yeah, that's what Scorpio Sky said. And then he looks at Frankie Kazarian, and he said, the match between me and you will be happening next week for the TNT Championship. So yeah, it looks like that match will now be happening next week for the TNT title. That's what's going to happen. But next, we're going to be seeing the main event, which will be up next. Yeah, see you guys later. Until then. So the next thing that happened on AEW Rampage, it was the main event. But before I talk about the main event, we gotta talk about Jungle Boy now. Ricky Starks was on commentary talking crap about Jungle Boy because he'll be facing against him for the FTW Championship this Wednesday on Dynamite. Well, Jungle Boy comes up and both of them starts brawling. Ricky Starks runs backstage and then Jungle Boy grabs the FTW Championship holding it up high. So yeah, that's what happened there. And then we get into the main event. It was Jay Lethal with Sanjay Dutt and Satnam Singh at ringside. And Jay Lethal was taking on Konosuke Takeshita. So yeah, Konosuke Takeshita. That's who Jay Lethal was taking on. And it was a pretty good match. It was really good. At one point, Jay Lethal was trying to hit the lethal injection onto Konosuke. But at one point, he flipped over him, and Konosuke was fighting back. And at one point, he hit the jumping knee to the face onto Jay Lethal. He was pinning him, but then Sanjay Dutt gets on the ring apron, distracting the referee. He could have won the match, but then the referee looks back and he starts counting the pin, and Lethal kicked out at 2. So yeah, that's what happened there. Both of those guys were still going at it. Lethal tried to roll him up at one point, but he kicked out at 2. But then Lethal then finally hit the lethal injection onto Konosuke and then pins him for the 3 count. So yeah, Jay Lethal defeated Konosuke Takeshita tonight on Rampage. So yeah, it was a pretty good match between those two guys. But then after the match ended, Sanjay Dutt and Jay Lethal starts beating Konosuke after the match, beating him down and everything. But then Best Friends comes out. So yeah, Trent Beretta, Orange Cassidy, and Chuck Taylor comes running out. Chuck Taylor and Trent Beretta gets into the ring, starts taking out Jay Lethal and Sanjay Dutt. But then Satnam Singh starts beating Trent and Chucky down. And at one point, Satnam was choking out Chuck Taylor, slamming him against the mat, and then Orange Cassidy gets on the ring apron. And then Satnam Singh was trying to get Orange Cassidy, but Orange jumps off the apron. And then Samoa Joe comes walking out with a lead pipe. and he was going to go beat him down, but then a bunch of security guards and referees was holding Samoa Joe back, and then that was the end of that. So yeah, it was a pretty good match between Lethal and Konosuke. I'll give that match, I'll give it 2.5 stars. That's what I'll give it. It was a pretty good match though between those two guys. So yeah, go check out the match. Really good main event for Rampage. Tonight's Rampage, I'll give it, out of 5 stars, I'll give it 4. I'll give it 4 stars. That's what I'll give it. It was a pretty good Rampage. Main event was good. We got to see Hook in action. Always great to see him in action. Riho with her match against Yuka Sakazuki was pretty damn good as well. If you haven't yet, go check out that match. And the tag team match with Britt Baker and Jamie Hayter versus Ruby Soho and Toni Storm was an okay match as well. So yeah, go check out all those matches. Really good matches. Like I said, Rampage aired at 5:30 today. So yeah, I was running late and everything. Definitely couldn't catch the show. But Rampage, if it comes on like early, like always, like that, I'll always be doing my reviews after SmackDown airs. So yeah, always expect my Rampage reviews to air, to be uploaded after SmackDown. So yeah. But yeah, that has been my AEW Rampage May 6, 2022 reviews. Like, subscribe to TNW Wrestling on YouTube. Subscribe to my other channel, Word of Chris, and subscribe to this channel, Chris Bales, and follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and I'll be down there in the description box. And yeah, I'll see you guys later for this Monday's Monday Night Raw reviews, and I'll be doing my WrestleMania Backlash reviews this Sunday, so yeah, look out for that, and my WrestleMania Backlash predictions tomorrow night, so yeah, look out for that as well. So yeah, I'll see you guys later. Until then.